While everybody's finishing up their meal, I hope your meal was good. I'd like to introduce to you Sharon Wise, the co-chair of the Michigan Republican Party. Can everybody give her a hand, please?
Thank you. I told Paul that I'm very comfortable speaking while you finish up eating to keep the program moving along. So have your cookie and coffee, and I'm just fine with that. I'd like to begin by thanking Paul and the committee that put together this sold-out event. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give them a big hand. Then, I would like to thank each and every one of you. Because of your hard work and your financial contribution during the 2010, you can't hear me? Okay. During the 2000, but
Hang on a second. Do you have the one to hold on to? It's much lower. Push that on and push the power button. No, you just turn it on.
Okay. Is that better? Okay. Because of your hard work in 2009 and 10, and because of your financial contributions, whether they be large or small, the Michigan Republican Party had an amazing year in 2010. I don't know if you realize this, but because of the financial support of people across this state, everything from $1 up to large contributions, we were able to financially participate in 115 races across the state, never before. And we won 111 of them. Now, first of all, we now know that we have to go into this election and keep the House Republican in Lansing and keep a conservative Supreme Court. We also know that we have to maintain our Republican majority in our congressional delegation and get Congressman Dan Benachek reelected. And send a Republican senator to Washington so that our members of Congress have somebody to work with in the U.S. Senate and president. And ladies and gentlemen, I believe with every fiber of my being that Barack Obama cannot win re-election without winning Michigan. Now we know that Republicans can get elected without Michigan, but a Democrat cannot. So when you are asked to help with the voter identification program, I know it's grueling work. I know making phone calls just sucks. But it is so important that we know who to communicate with, what voters to turn out, and equally what voters we hope sleep through the election. So please answer the call when you're asked to help. It is so important. We know that in Michigan, I think we have, maybe Jeff can help me, another 500,000 likely Republican voters to identify across the state. I mean, people have been working very, very hard already. I don't know if you remember the special election, the recall election down in Genesee County for Representative Paul Scott. We weren't successful there, but we have a great candidate that we will get elected that next month, February 28th, Joe Graves, so we'll take that. But the reason I mentioned that was because a lot of voter ID calls were done for that recall and now for that election. And people all over the state came in and helped that because we can make voter ID calls from anywhere. So please, please answer the call. You know, this is going to be such an exciting election. We have amazing candidates running on the Republican side. And I encourage each and every one of you to strongly support whatever candidate you want to back. But once we have our nominee, it's so important that we come together and work for that candidate. And I know passions run high. And that's one of the reasons why I don't endorse, nor does Bobby Shostak, the chairman, nor do officers of the Michigan Republican Party. Because we understand that once the primary happens, it's up to us to help unite all the different campaigns. And I've been on the other side. I know what it's like to have to, swallow hard and get on board and support a candidate that wasn't my choice in the primary. But please set that as your goal, that following, once we have a nominee, you're on board. In closing, and I'm going to keep my remarks because you have lots and lots of great people to speak to you tonight, I want to share a little story as well about my granddaughter. Last year, I had taken her to lunch, and she was 7 years old at the time. And I asked her, and it was on February 20th. And so I said, Olivia, do you know what tomorrow is? And she said, it's President's Day. Well, she would know that because they got off from school, but she said it's President's Day. And I thought, well, this is a pretty smart kid. So I said to her, well, what does President's Day mean to you? And I was waiting for her to say something about Washington or Abraham Lincoln, and she replied, President's Day is when President Obama steps out of the White House, and if he sees his shadow, we have 1 more year of unemployment. Well, I discovered something else right then, that it hurts like crazy when hot coffee spews out of your nose. And I ask for your forgiveness. I need to leave and drive back to Traverse City. I ended up having out-of-state guests this weekend. And when they called to tell me they were coming, I said, I have a dinner in Manistee that I have to go to. Oh, that's okay, that's okay. So I'm going to get back there tonight so that I can spend a little time with them tomorrow before they leave early Monday morning. But thank you for all you have done, and thank you for all you are going to do to help us have an amazing election this November. God bless.